entrepreneurs, we are thrilled to have you over here. So starting with, we would like to hear about your entrepreneurship journey with Rajkamal Films. Can you share your first big break that you had as an entrepreneur? And what was your lessons that you learned? And also, what was a big failure that you had as part of Rajkamal Films? And what's the lesson you learned from that?
My first attempt at production or investing into the business of films started as a revolt rather than a business. Because all the ideas that I sweated on, I sometimes even shed blood on, were wasted away or went tepid when it was finally presented. And then I found where the buck stopped. It stopped at that money bag table. And unless you seize control of that, you don't seize control of the excellence of your work. You'll have to keep repeating what is assumed to be the market demand. Actually, nobody did market research. They just looked at success and assumed that's what people wanted. But people were hungry and they were like me. People were made of similar atoms like me and they liked similar things. So I don't know why you're creating a new flock which is convenient for a businessman's bottom line calculation. Otherwise, there's no art to it, there's no excellence to it. And I'm a great fan of not only European cinema, but the way American cinema sort of made it into not only a treadmill pattern, but also innovative new ideas came from Hollywood. They picked from around the world. If they liked something, they simply bought it out or copied. They didn't care. So when I started, I was 24 and I started Rajkamal with another name. It was then called Hassan Brothers. I mean, harking back to the Warner Brothers, kind of wannabe Warner Brothers, were called Hassan Brothers. We did everything right according to the way the our production planning and backward engineering, everything was right. But we were overconfident, and when I should have made a profit, I made a loss. The only reason is I went into a terrain with overconfidence. I went into distribution. That's not actually my area of ambition or control. I wanted to control only the excellence. But I went further. And like Napoleon or Hitler moving into Russia without proper plans. So I met with the same debacle. What should have been, we did it in Tamil and Telugu. In Tamil it was called Rajaparvai, and in Telugu it was called Amavasya Chandrudu. And we finished the shooting of the film, 2 versions, sometimes with 2 different actors for character roles. And we finished it in 55 days. Today's film directors' jaws will drop if we told them that this is how we did, and we did it on film. Technology was much slower, but we failed. And I had to shut shop for about nearly 4 years. And people said that that's called Peter Principle. You reached your level of incompetence, go back to acting, what you do best. Fortunately, with all the debts I had incurred in Rajaparvai, I was wiped out with one film, thanks to Mr. Balachandran again. He introduced me in Hindi. I had a 14 lakh debt at that time, which must have taken me to about 8 films earning to repay, or 7 films. So I was in a very bad state, and Ek Duje Ke Liye was a big hit. I was not in a mindset to enjoy even that success. And then the next film came, And so many people wanted me, and they asked me, what's your price? And I had an answer, 14 lakhs. And there was no argument. I could have asked 15. They said, okay, we sign tomorrow. And that's how my debts vanished. Then I just kept acting in films, and I went into a bigger industry where I met great film directors and greater businessmen, entrepreneurs than I had known. So I learned some of that and came back and there to go back. This time I called it Raj Kamal Films, and we produced a film called Vikram. Now the wheel has come a full circle. I'm doing Vikram again. And at that time, when I planned the film, people said, here he goes again to ruin himself, because he claims that this film is going to cost 1 crore. People were making films at that time for big films with Shivaji Saab and MDR, cost only 50 to 60 lakhs. But I proved a point, it worked, and then everything was a learning, but we were careful. But our number of silver jubilees that Raj Kamal Films has is, if I had been another producer, I'd envy Raj Kamal.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. Vikram is actually my fan favorite movie of yours, especially back in childhood. To see all that technology was something that, that is unforgettable, and we are eagerly waiting to see the Vikram 2.0. I hope you will take it up.
It's not actually Vikram 2.0, but it sort of harks back to that memory, but it's a brand new, interesting story by another Coimbatore of this part of Tamil Nadu. Lokesh Kanagaraj is the...
Absolutely, sir. We're really looking forward to seeing you again on that. You're one of the most innovative in the film industry. You've just experimented in everything, whether it is acting or distribution. You are also one of the first to go directly online. So, given this current situation and how this whole film industry is shifting towards online, what do you see? And then a lot of independent films also playing an important role in this whole landscape. It's completely changed. So 10 years down the lane, how do you see the film industry to change?
I'm very, very upset at the delay these vested interests have caused in the advancement of digital entertainment. We were looking forward to it at least 10, 15 years back. And 10 years back, I dared to go on a top end of the market film into OTT. Few of them understood, but the rest of the theatre owners felt that I will be finishing a way of life. I met a very good friend of mine and I told him, that's not what I'm intending. You remember there was a time when the satellite television came, that the producers gathered together and they wanted to ban satellite film. I was alone. They wanted me to apologize for even voicing against the technology, for pro-technology. I refused and people were angry with me. And my own teacher and doyen went into television. He was part of that agitating. But that's something I could clearly see, because for me, my vested interest in cinema is not merely money. Because this is another little subplot that I must tell you. I thought the only thing that I'm not good at is handling money. So there was this great money lender who was lending for all cinema producers. So I told him, every day morning I'll be with you to learn how you lend money. So he said, I finish my work by 9:30. So I can, while I'm doing my work, I can't be teaching you. So if you come at 7, I'll be unshaven, I'll be having my tea, but I'll tell you what best I could teach you. So he never thought I meant it seriously, because it's dinner time talk and they always forget it in the morning. So I went there and he was surprised. He told me a few things. And after about 10 days, he said, I don't know what to call you. I think you're foolish. We make money out of money. You make money out of nothing. You teach me how you do it. I'm a fool. I'm teaching you this trade which is as old as the world. So he said, don't waste your time trying to learn this. You got something better. Appoint somebody, pay somebody the money, and ask them to take care of your money. You keep raking in the money. And that's what I'm trying to do till today. And that's an important.
So in 10 years down the line, how do you see independent films?
So look at the thing. When I first released Vikram, I released it with 60 prints, unheard of. They said, how could you do that? Because Mr. S.S. Vasan released his film in those days, and they thought it was a very silly thing to do. He released 13 prints simultaneously. Otherwise, they released only 4 prints, and the film, the reel got spoiled, they replaced it. But never thought of raking in at one time. So the first film that had 60 prints, I think around that time was, now we are sitting at 3,000 prints. Vishwarupam was 3,000 prints, in spite of the OTT hangama and all that. And I told a film distributor, why this will not affect. He said, I'm praying to God that it doesn't happen. I said, no. Let me use your God example. Just because somebody printed Venkatachalapati in a calendar, it's not going to reduce the crowd in Tirupati. As a matter of fact, it will be a reminder for him every time that he should go to Tirupati. So a film theatre and the congregation of people is something. Why are we here? One of the YouTube would suffice, and you'll get the same experience that you're getting it, probably even in close-up. Some of them sitting in the back row, they'll benefit better if they watch the YouTube, because this will be this tight. But this congregation means a lot. That's the reason why I come here. Yeah, I can just talk to you on phone and say, or this interview could be done on phone. But I love doing it in front of audience. I grew up with an audience. Applause or criticism, doesn't matter. I grew up with them. So I tried to convince them with that. If they didn't understand. But now, let me tell you now, so that there's another thing. If you're only calm and not worried about what you have spent on, then you'll see that OTT and cinema theaters will exist side by side.
Wonderful, sir. The theatre and movie fanatic in me is happy to hear that. Thank you. The big question now, with the current landscape is regarding the current elections. So obviously it was not a very successful year. There were a lot of challenges. So can you share the emotional toll, this takes? Because you put your heart and soul into it, something that you're very passionate about. What is the emotional toll, and how do you get back up?
People with me will bear witness to this. It's not pretending that you're not worried. You should truly not be worried. Because when I use the term that gladiators use, when I came into politics, I have said that to myself. Those about to die, salute. It could be you, it could be me. But I've come here for the people. And I'll see it to the very end. Mine or the corrupt politics as it exists now. That's why when I first signed in a college function I went to, they said, now you're a politician. You signed for the first time in our college registry. And I sign there, it seemed very arrogant, but I think that's what I am. I am a neo-politiculturist. That's my purpose in politics. Because politics will always be there, voting will always be there, avarice will always be there in both sides. But there can be some agent which can change it.
For me personally, and I'm sure a lot of EO members as well, when we were talking about this landscape, we were all, truth be told, ecstatic, like Anusha, obviously, that, we have someone over here who's not in the political, not from the traditional political realm, coming out here like Kejriwal, changing everything there is, that we know about politics, rooting out corruption, rooting out, and then like for the poor people. It all makes sense to us. We actually expected, a big change, but, people didn't seem to connect with it. Where do you think it went?
I think there are two ways of looking at it. Cup is half full and half empty business. We all heard it. Look at it. There was money being flooded into the market. We refused to pay. And we were the only party who, probably one of the only parties who were loudly saying, good evening, Vanakkam, Varga Tamil, we are not going to pay any money. That's a predominant message. We were advised not to ever say that because you are shutting shop even before it opens. But we had decided this politics will have to change. And we try to tell people, a businessman who invests this amount of money will have to take it back. He is not here for charity. So you understand it. You fully understand that he is not honest, but he's investing so that he can take tenfold back. So what you get is only 1/10 of what you actually deserve, was the argument. Some of them understood it. And that's the point they proved to us, where the cup was half full. Because they brought me close to that corrupt politician who was willing to spend so much. But they brought us so close to them, a little more push, and our point would have been proven. So I think the bundle, size of their bundle was bigger than we thought.
Sir, what is the vision for M&M 2.0? What is the strategy going to be going forward in the next?
See, now we are battle hardened, so we know our flaws. And I keep telling my cadre that here is something I've been trying to tell you, to keep telling you ad nauseum, but you didn't listen. But this election has taught you a lesson even your leader cannot teach you. And now you know it. Because I have cadres who have tears in their eyes. They personally take the responsibility. I feel very bad. I don't know how to console them. So I tell them, let's do better, not even better, do our best and correct all your flaws. Now we know the chink in the armor, so weld it. That's what we are doing now. And that's enough. Anything, it's not that we made a colossal mistake that we have to correct it. The biggest mistake that we made is we were complacent. Because of listening to people like you, congratulating us, giving us the pat on the back and say, go, we refused to look at the exchange that was happening, which was too tempting for the very poor. See, I've been to Kaluguri. I don't know whether you have.
I'm afraid not, sir.
You must. Not because you'll suddenly realize it'll change you, it'll bring you into politics. It'll add one more member to M&M. I'm telling you that. Because when I go into that pit called Kallukuri, as it's a Karanapayar, so it's in a kuri and it's full of rocks. Nothing much will grow there. But what has grown beside it is multi-story buildings, deluxe apartments. And from there, they are watching. I'm sure Kallukuri supplies all the labor to these flats, maids who help them, cooks, we don't know what all. But they don't look at them. It is not enough if you agarbatti எழுத்தி வச்சுட்டா வீட்டில் இருக்கிற நாத்தம் போயிடாது. You take that அகர்பத்தியாவே மறுபடியும் வெளியிலேருந்து வரும். அது கல்லுக்குழியிலேருந்து வருதுன்னு நீங்கள் நினச்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. கல்லுக்குழி ஏன் அவ்வளோ அழுக்காக இருக்குன்னா இந்த மல்டி ஸ்டோரி பில்டிங்கில் இருக்கிற கழிவெல்லாம் அங்கே தான் போகுது. ஸோ we are a vicious circle and it's time to make it virtuous. And it's possible.
Wonderful, sir. You did give a tempting, answer to my next question, which is, what can we as entrepreneurs do other than joining M&M? What can we do to actually make an impact in politics?
First, don't worry. Right now, COVID is a thing, and it's not going to leave you very soon. Believe me, it's not a negative talk, but a pep talk that I'm giving you. People will have to live with this COVID. We'll prepare. We'll not stop our life, but we'll plan to live with it. In spite of COVID, when there is a next election which will determine your business, your life, it is going to affect your life. So affect it in return. Don't worry about the sun, the queue, or there's a Kallukuri man going to be rubbing shoulders with a three-piece suit. Don't worry about all that. That's the moment India will come together. That's the moment you see unity in all the diversity. Please vote. Vote for M&M is another slogan. I'll come to you when it is moment. But please vote. People who don't vote and ridicule politics are making it further ridiculous. So please vote. And the other thing, there are certain ideas that we have. As a political party, we are just about hand-to-mouth party because we don't indulge in any of the darker deeds that other parties indulge in. So we have ideas. You could help us implement that ideas. Take your name, take our labor. Our party cadre will work as your gatekeepers. But come and look at our ideas, at least peruse our ideas and say, hey, that's a great idea, I'd like to be part of it. And you see the result. And I don't have to campaign for M&M with those involved in those projects. They will be sold. I'm very sure. We have a few. We were talking about it even today. And let me advertise those kind of ideas here on a podium like this, where you are at least kind enough to ask, what can we do?
Thank you, sir. A decade back, or maybe a little bit longer than a decade, you always seemed to be a very private and a reserved person. You did have your fan club, which was actually a welfare club that you've been operating for 40 years. And you've been presiding to do, social good. But you never really took sides in terms of political parties, or you did have your ideology, but not in terms of political parties or whom you support, unlike other actors in the field. When was that tipping moment when you decided, this is?
I decided to take the winning side, a winning side which will do that all the time, the people. Not DMK, not ADMK, not left, not right. I wanted to fight for the people. So the side I've chosen is the people's side. So I'll always be on the winning side.
When was that?
Even when Mrs. Vanati wins, I'll still be on the winning side because I am with the people. And if things do not get done with the newly elected government, we'll keep prodding them, reminding them to do what we think is right for the people. We are the voice of the people. So I am so confident that I am on the winning side. So whichever player is playing well is playing for my team. That's how I look at it. And that's how politics should be looked at. That's why we think we are neo-politicalturists.
And would you say, like, you jumped into politics. What was the big push that you had? Because a lot of people start when they are younger days. Do you think that, you're into politics late? Or do you think this is the right time that you were there? And why? Why this time?
My brother was so happy that I didn't get into politics very early in life. I said, you talk a lot about it, I'm concerned. He said, why? He said, the only place you would choose with that anger and mindset, you'll be in the forest as an Naxalite. I'm glad I didn't do that as well, because that's what spawned a movie like Kurudipunal, where there is a part of me angry person who's there, and then ஏன்டா காட்டுக்குள்ள போய் ஒளித்திட்டு இருக்கீங்க, இந்த எலெக்ஷன்ல வந்து சண்டை போட வேண்டியதானு கேட்குற அந்த சீடு குருதி புனல்லையே விழுந்தாச்சு என் மனசுல. அதைத்தான் நான் சொல்லி சொல்லி பார்த்துக்கிறேன் நான். ஸோ that's what happened. And I wish that I had better political teachers and I came in early. But it doesn't matter. It's not about personalities anymore. The fact is, my personal tragedy is I don't have time to see the change that I've started, accelerated now. This vicious cycle is going to turn virtuous. I'll be proud if I live to see it, but doesn't matter. Tevar Magan dialogue again. Whether na potadu. Once again, these are my rehearsals to talk to people, convincing myself why I should come into public life. And I have, people say I found my calling. That's what I have found. My calling is this. And when I say my rest of my life is for the people, I'm not, getting a tagline or tear-jerking. I'm actually meaning it, and I say it with trepidation, not with great aplomb. I have so much things to do.
Wonderful, sir. Really heartening to hear that. And you're someone with a completely unique. You just think different in terms of your philosophies, in terms of your religious beliefs, everything. What is your belief on afterlife? Do you think there is an afterlife? Do you think there is karma? Do you think there is reincarnation?
I truly believe, I'm a great fan of Gandhiji, not everything that he says. Gandhiji didn't like cinema. I didn't like that about him. I love cinema. There are so many things that I disagree with him. For me, I have found, even in my films, you'll constantly hear this dialogue being repeated again. That's another preparation I'm making for myself, like about politics. I don't see life and death as two separate situations. I think death is a part of life. And once you accept it, life becomes easy. That's why I am able to write a song like Saga Varam Pol Sogam Undo. Imagine Yayati of Mahabharata roaming around, not even if he dies, there won't be people to carry him. He's outlived everybody. And imagine what makes this conversation interesting is that there is a full stop, without which a sentence doesn't look good. So death is that full stop. And it must happen. Nobody should wish for it not to happen. But see to it that everybody comes into the world very similarly. Maybe a C-section or maybe a natural birth. But a cesarean or the natural birth. But the exit is what you should start planning somewhere when you think your youth might slip away. Not when it is slipping away. When you think that probably you find your first gray on the chin or the bald patch on the back, that's when you start preparing for the exit. And you'll have to prepare yourself psychologically, socially, train your children for it, and that's how I think. So there's afterlife, I've dedicated and given and willed it to my children. I don't know how many of those children are here. I'm not talking about my two daughters alone. So my afterlife is all theirs. And that's why I'm concerned about Eminem succeeding while I live. Because I'm leaving them a property which I developed. So that's afterlife for me. So it go on forever.
I think this is the best, sentence that I've ever heard, about like life, and the significance of actually a full stop that we all need in our lives. Incredible, sir. I have many more questions, but I actually would like to hear from the audience the question, and I'm sure that's what they would like as well.
The capability in politics is always on both the sides. So what is more important? As Tamil Nadu has been in the last 20 years towards the tinsel world. Is it a right approach or how does it work?
What is the right approach you're asking?
How does the last 20 years, it's been, Tamil Nadu is behind the tinsel world. So which is the right approach?
See, that doesn't matter. I look at myself as a film man because I couldn't be called anything else. I woke up to cinema. But that cannot be my total life. I have aspirations. And this is bigger than me. The aspiration is for people. When they say, why do Tamil Nadu always like actors? How many actors have succeeded? The skilled ones, lucky ones, yeah, and then? So, when lawyers could abound in politics, why not actors? Why not the tinsel world? I think it's a public communication skill that comes along with the film industry that must have helped them. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the will to do good for people. And that's why I hate the idea when people say that I come into politics. Of course, they'll never ever say it in public. There's a lot of money to be made in politics. That's not a place where you make money. This is the place where you talk about making money. And politics should enable it. And that should not be a place you make money for yourself, but you make money for the state. And that's what I think. And I'm not just an actor. When they introduced me, they gave me so many titles. I'm a lyricist, and above all, I'm a Tamilan and I'm an Indian.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Sir, I'm a second generation business. I followed my father's footsteps into business. I followed my father's footsteps into business, as many of us have. I just want to ask you one question about Tamil cine world. There are a lot of plots in many films which vilify businessmen, where the vigilante is rags to riches story, or previous films used to appreciate rags to riches story, but nowadays we see a lot of businessmen being always portrayed as a villain in the movie. I'm not saying that always, but almost always. And usually that appeals to the masses. But do you think that in other cultures where they celebrate entrepreneurship and businessmen and people who create wealth, are we going down the wrong path, or is it the right path? What do you feel?
No, it depends. That's why I quoted entrepreneurship after some time has no meaning. I had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bill Gates. And he also said the same thing. Wanting to make money is nothing wrong with it. But make it all for yourself is where it goes wrong. Make it more than him and eliminate the opportunity of him making any money so that I can make that also is the wrong approach. That is villainy that should be exposed. That the world is doing, not just Tamil cinema. The world is doing it. How can you allow that 1% of the wealth in America is controlling 99% of it? As a proposition, it's very wrong. And that Statue of Liberty makes no sense at all if this is going to continue this way. So I think bad men will be portrayed as bad, but be bold enough to say, I am not that. I once had an opportunity of talking to the late CM of Tamil Nadu. That lady was very upset that I spoke about politicians in a very derogatory way. There was a particular case going on at that time. And why did you speak about politicians being bad? You know there's a case going on against me. I said, I never thought of it. They asked me a question in an interview. And I said, most politicians are avaricious. What if I said all actors are avaricious and immoral? I will be very sure you're not speaking about me, ma'am. So I want you to approach this problem with that same confidence. And that's what I said. So I would ask you not to get worried about those portrayals, because that's not you. That's not what you want to be. That's not what I want to be. So when they show a bad businessman, I'm very sure they're not talking about the boss of Rajkamal Films International, because he has given so much to cinema. That's not who he is talking about. It's somebody else. And I go to sleep happily without getting worried.
So my name is Shiva. I think it was like really heartening to listen to your story, and you're a true blue entrepreneur. All the battles you won have been on merit. But some of the messaging, at least during the election time, that confused me was your socialist leanings, right? And what is your view on meritocracy? You think that's the right path for our people, and how does some of the views that you have on that play into politics?
See, I don't know whether you've read Yuval Harare's book. People need a myth to be driven to the goal that they want to go to. And the biggest myth of all is justice for all. We've been driven by that. So all isms are still work in progress. Not all of them have delivered according to their promise. Some say democracy is the most infallible and so the best choice we have in the world now. It is only through democracy that a person like Hitler stepped into power. He is unlike any other dictator who usurped power through war. He came in through democracy, and any ism or any political philosophy needs constant vigil. Otherwise, it fails. All the good qualities that you speak of becomes the bad qualities. And about meritocracy, meritocracy will win, but it should not be controlled by a group. Once again, the same argument of 1% controlling 99%. And India is a very complicated country. It is not just black and white like in America. We have Chatru Varna and one more Varna which has no color at all. And we are leaving behind our brothers, and we just shrug and say, I am not my brother's keeper, like Cain. You can't do that. And that's why I think only meritocracy is dangerous. You have to look at that. You'll have to raise the bar and see that the other person also come. I'm not talking about Para-Olympics. This man is an athlete, and you kept him fat and unexercised. And that's wrong. That's where my socialism comes in. That's where no ism is a complete thing. It is medicine for the day. And the disease keeps on developing in its excellence at killing. So we have to work. That's why I call myself a centrist. I could have easily chosen and the available buffet of political philosophies. This I chose because the whole world is being tucked on both sides. And we're most of the time spending time in debating and arguing who's right rather than doing the right thing. And my films talking about Varaminara looking like communists or Unbasivam looking like that, one is written by Mr. K. Balchandar, Unbasivam is written by me. So those are individuals, but we'll have to talk on larger things. The meritocracy is when you'll have to keep merit as the example, not mediocrity. In today's India, we are setting mediocrity as an example, which is very dangerous. If you keep mediocrity as an example, then rubbish is acceptable. Acceptable becomes extraordinary. Extraordinary becomes genius. Genius non-existent. This is how it will go. And this is an explanation I have given before in public. I repeat it again. I get better every time I say it. Thank you.
Another question on politics. So there's been this chicken or the egg story, right? So just like that in politics, now politicians say that if I don't give money, then I'm not able to get votes to win. Most of them, not
Don't
all
get
voters.
it. That's a point. You don't deserve it.
So similarly, the officials say, I won't get promotion unless I give money to the politician and therefore I take money. So it's just going on and on. And as you said, ideas, when you implement good ideas, when you give good ideas, it will change. But then how long is it going to take? While China has already, advanced probably 100 years, or we will never become, as developed as China now.
Sir, நம்ம சிலப்பதிகார காலத்துக்கு போகலாம் சார். There will be Madhavi and there will be Kannagi. But we shall not wait for Kannagi to come down and burn Madurai down. கொடுக்க வேண்டிய மரியாதை கொடுத்து சேர வேண்டியவங்க வீடு போய் சேரணும், அவ்வளோதான். This is an argument I refuse to accept, and that's why I am in politics. இது பண்ணலைன்னா அவங்க பண்ணணும், நான் என்ன சார் பண்ணுறதுன்னு எல்லாரும் பிளேமை தூக்கி போட்டு முடியாது. அது மகாநதியில் கூட ஒரு டைலாக் வரும், நான் எச்சி துப்புறதுனாலையோ நான் சிறுநீர் கழிக்கிறதுனாலையோ ஒரு பெரிய நதி கெட்டு போயிடுமா அப்படின்னு 7 கோடி பேர் கேட்டால் என்ன ஆகும் சொல்லுங்க. அதானே அவங்க நையலாறு. எனக்கு என்ன, நான் எங்கள் வீட்டு சாக்கடை தானே கொட்டுறேன், அது ஒரு நதியே காணாமல் போயிடுமா? காணாமல் போயிடுச்சு. மெட்ராஸை choice by the British to have it as their bastion was because இது 2 ஆற்றின் கரை, இன்னும் சொல்ல போனால் 3 ஆற்றின் கரை. 3வது ஆற்றை இப்போ வேலை பேசி வித்துக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டும் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டும். கோசஸ் தலையாறு. Somebody has to raise that voice.
Correct, sir. But how do we come out of that cycle?
I can't simply say M&M. M&M is one way. அது ஒரு வழி. அது மாதிரி நிறைய வழி இருக்கு. All of us should get angry. அதான், not angry not to burn down Madurai, but at least make the king sit up. முத்து பரலாம் மாணிக்க பரலான்னு அட்லீஸ்ட் செக்காவது பண்ணு பார்க்கணும்ல. லேட்டாக தலையை வெட்டிட்டு அப்புறம் செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடாது. அதுதான் என்னுடைய question.
Sir, one of the most successful politicians of recent times, or probably in the history, would be Mr. Narendra Modi. Politics aside, what do you personally think about him?
With Mr. Modi, without politics, what is there to discuss? I like my cup of tea. Without politics, Modi will not be discussed. As I say that, I will be talking about tea. Without politics, they'll be talking about my films. That was our previous profession. Now we are into a new thing. Now we'll have to see him. We gave him a long rope, 2 long ropes. Now this is the chance where he can prove that you can change, tact midway between the game. But I don't see it happening. I was recently in Delhi fighting for Cinematographic Act. but I don't think they're keen on doing anything. I mean, the ear to the ground is a different ground, different ear. They're not listening.
Such a pleasure, and I think I literally grew up and a big fan of you, and all my friends were booing me, like, I know why you're coming here. So it's such a great honor to listen to you. My question to you is, there's so much uncertainty in the air, and there's so much uncertainty everywhere we look around. It was nice listening to Eminem and your little insights, what you threw on, and the resilience that you had built in as a person and in every arena of what you had been so far. How do you look at uncertainty for the way that you have chosen yourself to the path of Eminem, and what do we look at? Certainty or uncertainty?
Eldams Road is a place that I have lived almost all my life. But when you have to cross, you can't take the traffic for granted. You have to look at both the sides. And I think somewhere we forgot to look at one side and we met with an accident. But it's only an accident. There was nothing deliberate. There's nothing stupid on our part. We were careless. And we will see to it that it won't happen again. About uncertainty, everybody is worried. They don't know how to avoid COVID. It's not just the mask, not just touching knuckles. We'll have to be even more careful. What it is, we'll come to learn on the way. Till then, what do? What our ancestors did. Brave and brave the world and create a brave new world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before going to the vote of thanks, a small question from my side, sir. We should, what do we look like now? Once you become a full-time politician, do we have any movies also coming from you, or you're going to stay away from it?
Let me tell you, there's nothing called a full-time politician. Trump does continue his business when he was president of America. Now, my friend Mr. Maffai Pandian is going to take care of his business and take care of it. And here we have Anushari who will take care of her business. I will be taking care of business and politics. There's nothing. The problem comes when they say I'm a full-time politician and I have no other earnings apart from politics. That's dangerous.
Thank you, sir. I'm really looking forward for a lot of your movies also in the future.
Sir, being a movie buff more than your acting and everything, I really looked up on you for your writing and direction skills. So I just want you to talk about art and how much of an impact it's played on your life and how much of an impact it could play on all of our lives.
Art could change your life. My life was changed because of art. And for you, you're welcome. We soon in November we'll be doing a screenplay workshop for a select few. We don't want to just sell ideas, but to create minds who could excel in ideas. So please register when the time comes. It's not about making money, it's about making movies. The platforms are not just merging, they're coagulating now. So one platform goes to another. Even news is going to change as I see it. Entertainment is going to change. OTT is not where it's going to stop. It's going to come into your very personal space and every one of you can become a filmmaker. And the stage itself will become a Greek theater. You come down and walk through, be a performer for a while and then audience for a while. This is going to happen. It's already happening. There are very many talents showing up, which is actually making professionals nervous. So I'm talking to the future. Thank you. Thank you.